No keys?
Nope. Watch this.
We got people off the fence and starting to care about Ford because we didn't ask for any support from the government. That wasn't good enough. I wanted people to fall in love with the company's products and know that we didn't take the money because we actually have great products and we're selling more of them. We're not an old cigar-chomping Detroit, middle America company. We're running our business responsibly. We're taking the best products from around the world. We're going to sell them in the U.S. When people start paying attention to your brand, you want to give them some cool evidence. Ford makes better products than the competitor. So Fiesta is like this huge proof point for the new Ford.
It's a pretty big deal.
The number one reason why people buy small cars in the United States is fuel economy. So we knew that we needed to have a really strong fuel economy message. The number two reason why people buy small cars in the United States is affordability. So they're looking at the value message of early low-end price points. The last reason that people buy small cars in the United States is for functionality. Are people looking for a sedan? Are they looking for a hatchback? How functional does that hatchback need to be? How big is the car overall? And some of the key factors of entering the market are, number one, just the simple size of the subcompact market. It's quite small here in the United States. It's about 4% of the total U.S. industry, whereas in Europe, it's practically 18% of the entire industry there. So in Europe, you've got a lot of momentum around small cars. In the United States, you don't have so much. So we needed to do something really exciting. The gas price spike in 2008. That helped us start thinking about small cars in a different way because the subcompact market jumped up to about 5–6% of the total U.S. market, and that said, wow, there's a potential here, and we've got to have something really big. We've got to have an incredible product. We've got to have an incredible marketing strategy.
We found in China a really cool idea, which is in China, because advertising and media is so controlled by the state, by the country, social media is the place where most new products are launched. So social media in China is actually far in advance of where it is in the U.S. More people on it, more products are getting launched every day on social media in China. And we noticed a program that our Chinese marketing team came up with, and knowing that we had a need in the U.S. to build awareness for Fiesta, we decided to take that Chinese idea and remix it.
Do that. Don't worry about it. The car's small. We can go anywhere with it. Oh. And it gets great gas mileage, too.
There's a lot of brands that we have to compete with in this space. What we realized is that we could line up with really two of the strong purchase reasons in the segment. On the fuel economy side, we're at 40 miles per gallon. We not only beat the competition, but we really eclipsed the competition by 4 miles per gallon, which was huge. On the affordability angle, we still were really affordable.
Well, we knew that when the Fiesta launched, that we would have a unique opportunity, because this was really our first truly global platform car. And the planning cycle was already underway for the Fiesta, which was going to launch in Europe. And we said, well, as long as we're at it, let's make sure we've got the Fiesta in Asia Pacific and in the Americas as well. So it gave us time before we actually launched the vehicle here in the United States. So we figured, well, we've got vehicles in Europe already. Why don't we bring 100 of them over and make them available to some digital influencers for 6 months and let them go out and do what they do, which is talk to people, both in person and online, and let them experience the car. We were ultimately confident in the product that we were putting out. something that we're very excited about with this new global platform, Fiesta. We're bringing smart design, we're bringing great technology, and bringing fuel economy to the small car market for our buyers.
The customers basically want the same kind of product around the world. Now maybe in China they don't like the smell of new leather, but basically we can get global scale and stop building products regionally and get most of the parts common to get more affordability to the customer, but still meet most of their demands.
Fiesta movement is the funnest experience I've ever had. It's just a bunch of people got together, 100 of us. We drive around the cars making videos.
We had a car for 6 months, so we know the car in and out.
One of the reasons we actually did Fiesta Movement and target social media is because we knew that we weren't relevant at all to the millennial market. Ford was not relevant. They hadn't had a vehicle in this segment for over 20 years. And we knew that we couldn't reach these people just through regular traditional marketing.
It's amazing how quickly social media has evolved in the marketplace just over the last couple of years. Really, comparatively speaking, it's in the blink of an eye. Social media has really just gotten to the mainstream seriously over the last couple of years or so.
Carpool lane dating service.
People have always had car stories since Henry Ford's time, but those conversations have happened over the backyard fence, or at the dinner table, or at a church picnic, or what have you. Now, so many of those are happening online, and it gives us an opportunity to engage with those people, to say, hey, have you thought about this, or why do you feel that way, or let us see if we can help. And it gives us an opportunity, because we have such a large platform, and the limelight is on us, to be able to turn to our customers and say, hey, don't take our word for it, look at what our customers have to say. And that's exactly what the Fiesta movement was about.
What we decided to do was to create a movement, create like a lot of excitement and local buzz about this car to the overall target audience.
Won't be the first guy to die in your movie.
Between the two cup holders is a little one that's perfect for a Red Bull can. A normal cup holder, a Red Bull, will just fall over and splash all over the place. It seems like a little feature, but if you're drinking them all the time, it's pretty awesome.
About a year before the Fiesta was to come to America, we were given a challenge, actually, by Jim Farley, and he said, we're in a really unique situation here. We don't have a current Fiesta that we're replacing. There's all this competition that are launching in the same type of class of vehicle that Fiesta is going to be there in a year. How do we actually get people excited about Fiesta and even know that it is coming in not really a mass media type of way?
Reason number one.
What we wanted to do is put these cars in the hands of people that would be socially vibrant, and that's kind of a term that we came up with, and we thought we based their social vibrancy on social media. Like, these people, like, how are they connected? What are their fan bases? You know, how many friends do they have on Facebook? What kind of messages do they send out? So socially vibrant. We also wanted to make sure that we would want to give these cars to people that would be able to create really unique content. I mean, anybody can put a video up on YouTube, right? But who's a storyteller? Who can really edit a piece together themselves? And there's this huge group of really interesting, cool people that maybe aren't like the top bloggers or the top people on YouTube, but really care about the content that they create, and are kind of like, you know, want to live in that space, but they might be struggling slightly. And so I came up with the idea of, let's find those guys, let's let them self-identify themselves to us, and let's give them a car for 6 months and see what they can do with it, and have them become more advocates for the brand. We felt very confident that this was a really unique and strong product that Ford was going to be bringing, and so we were very confident in the product. And then we also were confident in the idea, because we thought it was pretty unique, that we'd be able to find the right people. So we wanted to go out there and do a call to action and actually have people apply to become what we ended up terming a Fiesta agent. So Fiesta Movement Chapter 1 was about giving these vehicles to 100 different agents and then sending them on different missions that were really, the missions were targeted on different things that we know the target audience that would buy the car eventually would do, things that were exciting to them. So we had 6 different months. Each month they were on a mission. It was like travel, adventure, entertainment, really fun, broad categories, but things that definitely appealed to the target audience. That went on for 6 months. We didn't want to just go and partner with Facebook. Not that Facebook isn't a wonderful tool. When we were selecting our agents, one of the things we looked at is they all lived in different spaces. So it was really not about one person or one agent. It was about how they all fit together like a giant puzzle. So some people were really big on Twitter. Some people were big on Facebook. Some people, did blogs. Some people, they all lived in different places. And the nice thing is how they all actually work together.
Certainly we want to be able to help spread our message, but ultimately we wanted to make it apparent that it's not just what we're saying about ourselves, it's what other people are saying about us. The demographics that we saw in millennials, the way people were choosing to communicate, and the kind of the ultimate notion in terms of human psychology as to why people would be excited about this. What is it about giving somebody a vehicle? Because we could give vehicles to anybody in general, but what about this particular vehicle would make it stand out? And that was the notion that it's not available anywhere else in this country, and we're giving these people an exclusive opportunity to cater to exactly what they do, which is basically self-promotion. Hey, look at me, look what I'm doing. Come share in the experience with me.
It was all about the integrity of the idea was solid all the way through. We ended up putting the product in the hands of the people unedited. So it was like, okay, you guys, here's the product, tell us what you think about it. All they owed was one video a month. So in the end, we were only supposed to get, our big deliverable was 600 videos. At the end of the day, we received over 50,000 pieces of unique content.
We specifically selected people from across the country, so we'd have a nice geographic dispersion. We selected people from all walks of life.
It was really interesting because the agents are the ones that went back to the press and said, whoa, Ford is letting us really tell our story. They're not editing us at all. They're not telling us we can't say anything. They're actually doing it right. And so I thought that was really interesting. We didn't have to stick up for ourselves at all throughout the whole process. The agents were actually the ones advocating the program to the press and to others.
The difference between Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 kind of cuts through the core of where social media sits.
The new 2011 Ford Fiesta is full of surprises, and here's one of them for you. You could win an Idol-inspired Fiesta when you enter at AmericanIdol.com/Ford, plus a trip to LA and tickets to the show. Enter now.
But when you think about where Chapter 1 fit, it was probably more on the PR side than anything. When we move to Chapter 2, I think that's where we start to get into more of the marketing of the vehicle. Chapter 1, we let them focus on themselves. Chapter 2, we very specifically asked them to focus on the vehicle and some of the features in the vehicle. And we gave them very specific assignments at a hyper-local level.
Chapter 2 was all about getting pairs of two into a car and be able to have them go out and do different missions. These missions were a little bit more marketing focused, and everyone had heard pretty much of the first Fiesta movement, and like the next layer, the next almost higher layer of creative content creators raised their hand for this. The level of talent that we had participated in Chapter 2 was incredible.
We've been able to build relationships with the Fiesta agents, and that's really what social media is about. It's about relationship building, about building trust, because people, again, don't appreciate what corporations are saying about themselves. They don't trust it. Brittany Taylor was a lot of fun during the Fiesta movement, and in this particular one, she pits the Fiesta against the Lamborghini, kind of poo-pooing the Lamborghini in the process.
But does the Lamborghini have a capless fuel filler? The Lamborghini does.
The average viewer is thinking Fiesta versus Lamborghini, no contest, right? Well, that's what Brittany thought as well, but no contest in a different way.
Lamborghini's going down! Woo!
You look at the turn radius of the Fiesta, side mirror indicators for turning, the storage space, capless fuel system, push button start. She covered, I think, 5 different features in this fun little video, and also got the obligatory slow-mo hair fling in there as well.
For literally 10 cents on the dollar, we built unaided awareness compared to traditional media. So in traditional car launch, it cost $100 million to launch a new nameplate. For $10 million, we created the same unaided awareness as $100 million in traditional media. It required us to do it over a year. We had to execute it really well. We'd have the product to do it. It provided incredible buzz around the company as well, which is another kind of unmeasured benefit.
Happy looking thing.
I had to get real used to people just running up to the car. Meeting girls is always a plus with a new car.
It's not about having a well-defined campaign and then putting the social media stamp on the end of it. It's about integrating it early on so that something like a Fiesta movement can take place with real-world events as well as online, as well as how we ramp up to our traditional marketing and advertising. Because it's not going to work if it's just held as its own specialty practice.
Hey, I'm Bridget, and I'm in the mood for a little bit of friendly competition.
All of the integrated marketing approaches that we went through are really laying the foundation for our traditional launch. There's a couple of key avenues that we've used with that integrated marketing approach. One of them is just simply being active on Twitter, being active on social media, being active on Facebook is really powerful for our brand, because as people are starting to tweet about our car, starting to talk about the car, they're really starting a dialogue. Number 2 is how do we motivate our dealers to also get in the dialogue? So what we did was we actually selected 575 dealers. These 575 dealers were uniquely positioned across the United States to actually sell the most amount of our volume. And what we did was we actually went in to every single one of those stores and spent 3 to 5 days in setting up their social media strategies. So we taught them how to use Twitter if they didn't have a Twitter account. We taught them how to use Facebook. We enhanced their social media skills.
What you don't want social media to do is to have it be incremental. And that's a lot of the mistakes companies make. They invest in new media like mobile advertising and social media, and they just add it on top of their traditional media budget. The key for us is, and this is where the rubber meets the road, is it good enough in the execution phase to be able to take down the budget in your traditional media before you've executed the social media idea? And you have to. Yeah, as a marketer, you have to believe in your idea and the executional fitness of your idea on social media enough to take down that budget of traditional media.
We certainly have not neglected traditional media, traditional advertising as part of this, but we need to do it, again, in a way that's consistent with who we think the owners of the Fiesta are.
Fiesta Movement was a phenomenal program, and the numbers that we received were out of the park. All of the work that they had done received over 300 million impressions. I mean, it was huge numbers. They had over 3 million views on YouTube and growing. One of the application videos alone has 1 million views. It's amazing.
I think it's exceeded our expectations, beyond our wildest dreams, I think. We've seen people that have now paid attention to this vehicle, and that it's got an awareness level of about 60%, which is the same as some of our vehicles that have actually been in the market for 2 to 3 years already. And there's a quote that stands out to me from that great Roman orator Cicero, who said, "If you wish to persuade me, you must think my thoughts, feel my feelings, and speak my words." And that's exactly what we're doing with the likes of the Fiesta movement.
I believe that the one thing in advertising, the only thing that stops you is your own imagination and the passion behind the product. If it's not there, then it's not going to happen.
Hey,
I'm in the middle of something. Let me call you back.
While I think Ford certainly could have gotten where it is without social media, I think it's given us such an additional boost in terms of public awareness.
That's how you do it.
I knew that getting the Fiesta into social media was a really important proof point for the company walking the walk of being different. The Fiesta movement is set us up for some serious success 2-3 years down the road, because we have the right people talking online about the product, and they're also telling us what they think is cool about the product.
Parallel parking on a hill with a manual transmission, and it's tight. It's very tight. By the time I got it in there, there's just people clapping. I just get out of the car, I take my bows, I'm like, yeah, that just happened.